Okay. So we can get rid of that one.
No, just in case. I might be all over.
And I think you already gotta say your financial advisor student, you gotta use the same session.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Simply in general.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
all right, we ready?
And then
I'll go lead in prayer and then
I was just
Yeah. Hold on. Let me. I'm trying to see the. Which one is that? Oh, okay. So this one is that one. Okay. All right. What do you mean?
Spotlight that one, so it's taking up the whole screen so people can see this better when they look back at the. But you can
That's what I did.
the three buttons right
also clean chart. No,
or behind. It's
You
the
got it, clean chart. That I did.
and then spotlight for.
Hey, you can use the mouse. Oh.
Mhm.
All right. What? Oh no, this is my features account. Features. Go to. I think all of these are marked up. No, I took them off. Go. Oh no, look to USDJQY.
Is that here?
No, you see where it says future? Click on Forex. It might be Forex or that recent Forex fair. I don't know. No, go to the other one, Forex fair.
What's USDJQY?
Yep. Yeah. I still haven't tried. Which one is this? Euro USD?
Oh,
It's okay, man.
it's great enough. It'll do. Yeah.
Who do you want to show? Oh, just to give me. Okay.
Mhm.
We're ready?
Ready to
Okay.
go.
Well, as always, welcome to session 3 of what do we call this? Pray, trade, win, and repeat trading session. As always, we want to start off with prayer and give thanks to the Lord and just make sure that He's in the midst of this session. So let's bow our heads. Father God, we come to you and we give you thanks. We give you thanks for the gift of life. We give you thanks for your favor and your grace and your mercy that you have granted us. Father, thank you for allowing us to be in this place to fellowship and to increase our knowledge, Father God. We ask that you lead these conversations, that your presence fill this place, Father. Father, as we will be going through this session, we ask that you just help people to retain and be able to capture what is being taught. And Father, when we leave, we know that we do not leave alone, but that we leave with you. Mm-hmm. Father, we thank you for this opportunity. Father, we praise your name because you are worthy to be praised. And without you, none of this is possible. Father, we praise your name. We proclaim all of this in Jesus Christ's precious name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So we do want to give a disclaimer. We've already given this disclaimer that we are not licensed professionals. With all trading comes risk. Please understand this is not financial advice. Any trading or trades that you take will, of course, be at your own risk, and we will not be financially or legally responsible for any losses incurred during. Okay. So now that we got all the legal stuff out the way, let's get started. So if you guys remember, do you all remember what we did? Like 1 or 2 things that we did with support, resistance, things like that. Do you guys remember bullish and bullish, bearish? Okay. So what I want to do is I want to do a teensy review before we go into chapter 3. And before we go into chapter 3, which chapter 3 is confirmation. So just to give a little insight on what we'll be covering in chapter 3 is basically combining a little bit of what we learned in 1 and 2 and giving a little bit more information. So this is going to help you actually know where to go in for a trade and why you're going in right there or why you would not be going in at a certain point. So this is helping you learn just to train your eyes and your mind now as to where you go. So if we're looking at this chart, I'm going to ask, does anybody see any supports or any resistances that they would want me to mark up?
I do see a resistance. At the, if you go down a little bit more. Yeah, like around there. Yeah, that would be like a resistance because it just couldn't.
All right, anybody else? Any supports, any resistances?
Right there,
Yeah, that would be a support too.
the top. Yes,
Where?
Right here.
go down right there.
Yeah. And then the support, I guess for that
Yep.
part would be right under that. Yeah, right there.
Go high,
There we go.
out there.
And let's slide back to this, to the right hand. There was actually some in here too.
Anybody see anything else?
There's a support at the bottom of.
Tell me where to stop.
Stop.
Go down,
A little
keep
bit.
going down. Right there.
Oh, shut up.
Up just a tiny bit.
Who's that? What's
Yeah.
that? And there's one more I would actually do.
Yeah, go. No, the
A
support
support. Oh,
I see another support. Down or up next to it?
down,
Down.
down,
Where to go?
So
right down, right there.
that could be, that's a, actually, that's a resistance.
that's a
Yeah.
resistance.
No. I say down where you put your finger.
All right here.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can't see.
See what I was gonna say?
yeah,
Yes. Oh, who got it?
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at.
exactly.
Looking at that area.
So you want to know what we're doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain to you what we're doing. So when you're looking at a chart and you're seeing all these candles, whether they're red or green, you can see them a little better that they're red and green. When we were putting these lines on the chart, every line that we're putting represents something either called support or resistance. When you think of support, think of a trampoline, basically something helping to support you to stand up. So all these places that you see right here, that we put this line, you see how the candles came and bounced back up, and then the candles came and bounced back up again. That's why we put those lines right there. That's support. Resistance is anywhere that these candles, because these red and green bars are called candles, any place that the candles tried to go but couldn't go past. So you see how the candles went up and it couldn't go any further? Think of resistance like a ceiling, like you can't go any further than that. So that's why those lines are there. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
Just to let you know, the significance of just not just it being support and resistant, but all of these candles represent price action. So in the stock market, these show the different fluctuation of prices of whether it's stocks, stocks, or it could be Tesla, whatever you want to look at, it represents the fluctuation of price. So those what those candles represent. So these support and resistance levels are important because the resistance, which is the ceiling, is telling us that there were forces there that would not allow the price to get higher. So when we're gonna move on, we're gonna need those support levels to tell us what the market is doing. Because we cannot predict the market, we're not genies, but we can get evidence that's letting us know, to give us high probability of kind of seeing what the market is going to do. So that's the significance of those lines. It's the price action areas where there something significant happened. It could not push up or it could not push down.
So basically it's telling you you can buy or not buy.
That's right. It could be buy or not buy, or if you need to sell, because with the stock market, a lot of people think you only make market, this kind of trading that we do. People think I can only make money when the market is going up. This is where this is different. We can make money if the market is going up or if it's crashing. It's being able to look at the evidence to say what it's doing and going for a trade. So you can go in a trade for a buy if you see that it's reached a low level. When something reaches bottom low, just even think about when something happens to us, once you reach low, your bottom low, there's nowhere else to get but up, right? So same thing, once you reach the ceiling, if I'm all the way at the top, I don't have anywhere else to go but down. So that's how this market is. When it gets to a ceiling, we can look at the evidence. It might not be able to get higher than that. So those levels are letting us know, giving us evidence to determine is this going to continue to go up or is this going to go down? Did it reach its max for this moment where it can't go past this ceiling? Or is it at a support level that it just cannot break and it's going to go up? So that's what these levels we identify to help us tell us the story. Because one thing about the market, it repeats itself. I can almost with 95%, even 100, really, if we go back in the past, we can go back in the past years from today and see that there was some action that happened at these same levels. So these levels are consistent. They, a lot of times, it's either going to break it or support it. It's either going to respect it or disrespect it. It's either going to go up, continue up from that level, or go down. So that's when we start incorporating what we're talking about today, evidence, where we start looking at patterns of those candles at those levels to tell us if it's going to go up or go down.
But just a matter of learning the levels that
Being able to identify the levels, because the closer and more precise you can identify those levels. And then where's the paper that I gave you for the candlesticks? And then once we start getting into candlestick formation, there's patterns that candlesticks make that give us evidence. Once you see that, there's a couple that I like that when I see it, I have a high certainty that that pattern means that it wants to go up. Or you see a certain kind of design. Let me just do a little example. Like if I see this, a candlestick that looks like,
We might have to go over what a candlestick is.
you kind of then say, look, do we have a group? Oh, we have
a green. Do you want to go over what a candlestick is first before we do?
Yeah, you go ahead while I'm drawing the picture.
So while she's drawing the picture, so you know what a candlestick is and what it means. Does anybody want to talk about what the different body parts of a candle are?
Yes.
Okay. So for this candle, what is this called?
That's I thought it was called that.
It is.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is called the body. Whether it's red or green, the big thick part of a candle is called the body. Anybody want to talk about what these little lines are at the top and at the bottom? The wicks. The wicks are the pieces of the candle that are either at the top of it or the bottom of the candle. And that shows that the price action tried to go either up or down. And there was a force, the market was stopping it from going all the way to that point. So for instance,
which one is the weak?
the lines at the top and at the bottom of the candle.
And if you look at that folder I gave you, so I know it's maybe far. Yeah, it may be too far, but you can even see on this paper, it has a really good breakdown of what each ones are and the definition of a candlestick.
Mm-hmm.
Because that might be far for you to see, but it explains what a candlestick is.
Okay.
I think it has another one.
Did you had the handout in the folder?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, is it moving right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's on right now. Market is on.
Explanation.
I thought it closed at 5.
It does for about an hour and then it turns back on. Like it isn't an hour, Nikki, that the market closes?
Oh yeah, well, it depends. Futures closes for an hour for us, but Forex stays open 24/7, except it closes Friday night at 5 p.m. and opens up again Sunday at 5 p.m.
Okay.
But futures, it does close because that's regulated by the government. It is closed from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. But like I said, for all of you guys, I want you guys to start off with Forex because futures is fast and it's very volatile. You will lose money if you start off with futures. I was just doing some testing because I was telling Kai I want to get back into Forex. Futures is great, but I also like the idea, like I was telling Pastor Richard, of setting it and forget it. So I was like, wow, I'm in the futures every day. It would be nice to still be able to come back to my Forex and be like, oh, that trade panned out and I got $2,000. You can set it and forget it. If watching it all the time is not for you, Forex is where it's going to be for you. If you have a busy schedule, this market is slower, you can do things in peace, you can set it and forget it. I was doing some back testing, which is like trying out different of my old strategies, because I was telling Kai I want us to have Forex accounts where we can set things and forget it. That's multiple streams of income coming in.
So if you guys look and see, like Nikki said earlier, the market repeats itself. This is all the way back in December. These were the lines that we put for today. And you see, if you scroll all the way back, I'll even go back to, I think I was in November earlier. The market repeats itself. Now we're in November. Y'all had no idea what happened in November because we weren't looking at it. But because the market likes to go to places that it's used to going and it goes to familiar areas, that's why it's important to know support and resistance, because once you know that, you'll be able to kind of tackle where to go in trades, because as you see, these would be good areas to go in. Where are we at now? We're in September. Y'all ain't know what happened in September. I ain't know what happened in September. And see, it's still ranging. So yes, we did good with that.
In the levels, the way that it is so precise sometimes is kind of scary. It's like whenever I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it to that level, usually it will hit my level and the next candle, it'll start doing something else. So that's why these levels are so important. That's what we say. Don't try to predict the market. Let the market tell you what it's doing. And once you have those levels, like I said, it's not something you have to do every week. Like on my Forex pairs, like I said, I do futures, but I still had those lines that are still consistent until today. You don't have to change it unless I want to clean it up or do something, or just to make sure I'm continuing to perfect my skill of like identifying levels. I may erase it, but that's why I have 3 different watch lists. The one that I use every day is the futures, and then the Forex, I go just to make sure my eye is still good with doing the levels. I may go and take them off and just do it again, but you really don't have to.
Before you go over that, I'm gonna go over doji and bullish patterns and bearish count, but that goes, I didn't put it in that.
Oh, but we got the paper. Okay.
Y'all, oh, you did it for now?
No, I'm gonna send it in our group chat, so everybody can be able to have this once we get over. These are different candlestick patterns. Now that we have gotten to the point where we understand the levels, these are the evidences, the candle patterns that we need to start looking at levels that tell you what it's gonna do. So
like the W's and M's.
No, that's structure. That's market structure.
Okay.
But these are also market structure. We're gonna get into that too. But we already have, but we're gonna get more in depth. But this is like when it's at a level. These are additional signs that we should be looking at, like additional confluence or evidence is telling us what the market is probably going to do. Okay. Without guessing, not just assuming, oh, it's been up, so I'm assuming it's going to continue to be up, and it may be up, but you may see at that up level, there's a candlestick in the pattern indicating that it has the power to go down. Okay. So that's why these candlestick patterns, some of them, you don't need to know all of them. I only have a select, maybe 4 or 5 that I like to look for that are my go-to. So everybody can find something that you feel like, I see that a lot, I like that one. Yours might not be the same as mine, but being able to have a reference, and some of them show up more than others.
So what we're going to do is talk about why confirmation exists. And to Nikki's point, helping you to know when you get to these levels, giving you extra confluences or clues as to when to go into a trade. So like she said, you need to have more than just a guess, right? So beginners will see price or the candles touch a certain level and say, okay, time to go. And that's not always the case. So touching an area doesn't always mean that price is ready to move. It doesn't mean that it's always time to go in. So that's where confirmation comes in. And that's what we'll be teaching you. We'll be teaching you some of the basic candlesticks patterns and some of the basic candlestick names. Like the one that Nikki has up here is a combination of some of the candlesticks that we're going to be showing you. So when it comes to confirmation, it's just price giving you an extra clue, right? There's no way to predict what the market's going to do, how it's going to move, when it's going to move, but these give you extra clues to, like Nikki said, tell the story and be able to read what's being told instead of you just trying to predict it. So it's just giving you more information, and it helps you slow down and wait. Confirmations help you slow down and wait. There are some traders out there that all they see is that is one way to trade, where it just hits a support and resistance and they go in. And I'm not going to say that doesn't work, but it's also paired 97% of the time with some type of candlestick pattern. What I will say about candlestick patterns is this: for anybody that's on social media or anybody that's starting to get into the trading space or anything that's going on with trading, you'll start getting a lot of information fed to you on social media about candlesticks, about this, about that. Don't take in too many, because every candlestick pattern has a meaning. It's like, the best way I can describe it is that every word in the English language has a meaning, but you don't use every single word every day. You have a vocabulary. You have a certain set of words, and then you use new words that you learn, and then you put it into your vocabulary. Same thing with candlestick patterns. There's a million. There's every candlestick, and the one beside it is technically a candlestick pattern, technically. But it doesn't always mean that it's going to mean something to you, right? Just like if someone gave you a word scramble and it's words all over the place and it has no meaning, doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of words in a sentence, but it has no depth to it, as opposed to a sentence that's actually composed of a beginning, a middle, an end, and it has some type of meaning to what is being said. Same thing. I have no idea what's going on. So with candlestick patterns, it teaches you, like I said, how to think instead of guessing. So when you see price going up or down, it'll take that guesswork out of it, saying, I think price is going to go up, as opposed to, what is price showing me? What are the candles saying to me? It's extra proof and extra confluence. It's not about necessarily just entering into a trade. And a lot of times, and we did it for a long time, when we were trying to figure out about what you're supposed to do and when to go in, and people were trying to explain these basics. We were like, man, where do you go in at? Just say, just tell us. And it doesn't work that way. We need to, there's a method to it. So you have to know that. Okay, there we go. So there's different ways that confirmations can show up, right? So a confirmation can be a strong candle. It can be a weak candle. It can be a really big bounce from a level or a really big rejection off of a level. There's different ways that the confirmations show you what's going to happen and telling you, giving you information to make those educated decisions and not necessarily guesses. So you don't have to know, like I said, every candlestick pattern, because there's, like Nikki knows inverted head and shoulders. Do I see it? Yes. Do I usually trade with it? No, I don't. Inverted head and shoulders is the one where it kind of looks like head and shoulders upside down. And then they have a head and shoulders pattern where it looks like shoulders, a head, and then shoulders. I don't trade that one, but Nikki sees it and she trades off of that one. There's different patterns that you'll see that'll help you with those confirmations. You remember how we told you what a doji looks like, right? A doji is a cross. Does anybody remember what a doji is saying?
That they can't, or the buyers and sellers, like, they can't make a decision.
They're arguing.
They're arguing, yeah.
Although we told you in the last class, like, don't take a trade right there. There is a catch to that. You can, if it's coupled inside of a pattern, like what, oh, Nikki can put all the patterns up there. Like, if from what she has, you see this is a doji, but it's coupled with other candlesticks, and we'll go over what they mean.
Let me draw a doji just so people.
A doji?
Yeah.
You see how these candles are, the body is small, and then there's bigger ones, and then there's bigger ones. That's telling you something. Weak candles tell you something just as much as strong candles do. You want to go into some of these? Oh, wait.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. Get ahead.
So I just drew some of the ones that are prominent in my trading. Like she said, this is not market structure. These are candle patterns that once I look at the market structure to see what's going on. And so market structure includes the uptrend, downtrend, consolidated market. Market structure includes some of the patterns that we're going to get in the M, the W, you know, those are telling
high lows, lower highs, lower lows, things like that.
So then once we get to a level, if I hear you don't trade the in between, why is hopping in between your two lines? You don't do nothing until it gets to your level. So once it gets to my level and I understand which direction the market is going, either an uptrend or downtrend. And remember what I said, never trade against the market. If it is an uptrend, you should only be looking for buys, because that's why I kept losing when in the beginning. I could clearly see it was an uptrend, but I was like, oh, but it's about to pull back and I think it's gonna go. No, because you never know how far it's gonna pull back. So you're looking, that's gambling right there. Because you see that it's a clear uptrend, but you decide to go against the market. No, look at what it's telling you. So if I'm looking at an uptrending market, it gets to my levels. These are the ones that I personally like, but we're gonna send out these sheets that has more. And one that you will almost hear every trader talk about is engulfing. Engulfing is a big one, whether it's bearish engulfing or bullish engulfing. And is that the one that I had up initially?
What we
One of the charts that I had? Because I had a great example of an evening star on one of my.
No,
Which one is this?
this is the one we were just doing the markups on.
Okay, but I had another. What was the other one I had pulled up that was?
NASDAQ? I don't know.
Let me have them. Can you go back to NASDAQ? There were great examples of. Can you switch out the screen to bring it? I don't think it was NASDAQ. Hold on, let me see. I had a great example for it. Yeah. Little gray evening stuff. I don't remember what chart. Okay, well, anyway, I'll find it. But when I'm at my levels, if the market gets to my level, one of the ones that I like to look for, if it gets to one of my levels, is an evening star. Evening star is a bearish symbol, candlestick pattern. If you see a bearish evening star at one of your levels, which is a smaller green candle, and that's mean if it was going up, and then you see this at this level, if it's right at the line, if it was pushing up, are you trying to look for one?
Yeah.
And it was pushing up, and at that level right here, you see this pattern, which is a smaller green, a doji, which shows indecision. So if it was the market was really strong, you see this green, you would typically see it followed by another green. But when you see this doji and it's at a level, it shows indecision. They're battling. So the next candle that follows, if it's a red one, that means the sellers won. Because it's a combination of two things. You see the doji showing indecision. And then if you just look at these two, the red is also engulfing the green. So those are two symbols that if it's at this level, it might be time to sell. So especially if I said it's in a downtrend and I see this at a level, that's going to give me a lot of confirmation, like, Nikki, this is a good one. And if I was in an uptrend and I see this at one of my levels, so this is the opposite. That's an evening star indicating bearish. It wants to go, continue selling. So this one is the indication of continuing of selling. This one, if I'm in an uptrend and I see the morning star, I didn't think I wrote it, but morning star. If I see this at a level, let's just say, and the red is small, doji showing that it was possibly going down, but the doji shows indecision, and then the green one, because the green candle represents buying power. Red indicates selling power. So, and remember, doji indicates they can't come to a decision. So the next candle that usually populates shows who the winner was. So if I'm at a level and I see that it was initially a red candles, we have the indecision deciding, like, I don't know, nobody's won. And then this one is the winner. And it's at a level and I'm in an uptrend, this is a good sign for me that it's gonna go up. You found one? Yeah, so look at here. I found one. Look at this, we have one of our levels. Here we have a big red, but we have a doji. It doesn't matter like where the little sign is, it's a doji. If you see a big wick and a little body like that, it doesn't matter that this little wick is little. But when you see the little body like that and a long stick, the dojis can look different ways, but it has to have a little body and a lot of wick. And so the world, what happened?
Lord have mercy.
What was that on NASDAQ?
Thank you.
Yes.
We'll go back.
We have the red candle, and this is an uptrending market. Do you see?
Thank you.
If you can kind of see the
Mhm.
upward movement.
Mhm.
So at this level, we're close to this level. We see this red one, we see the doji, and this green one is still, even though that was a big red one, this green one is still eating that red one. If you look at it, and the body shape is still bigger than this one.
Yeah.
So then on this next one, I'm like, my eyes are already gonna be open. We at close to my level. I see this pattern. I'm still gonna wait for it to do something at my level.
Mhm.
This next candle breaks that line too. I'm gonna go in after that break of that at that level with that green candle.
Mm.
That's where I would go in. This is one of my confirmations. We're at my level, and then it breaks it with this candle. I will feel confident. And the market still could do things, but those are what adds up to an A+ setup.
Mhm.
When you start seeing these things at your level, and then we know how we said these lines indicate. And on all of my charts over here, these are only 4 hours and 1 hour. So these are not KK lines. These are not like little baby 5-minute lines. These are respectable levels that should be respected. So once I see that evidence right there, and then the break, I would have got in. And my stop loss, I would have put it right here. And I would have got in right here. And I do not take anything less than a 2-to-1. So then I would have rolled it up. But since I'm watching mine, I keep moving my, if it keeps going green, well, I'm gonna get out.
Right.
I keep bringing my stop loss up so that way I can't lose any more money.
Okay.
So that's where we're gonna get it. When you place the trade, if it starts moving up, if I had it to take me out of here, if it doesn't go my direction, once it's moving up, and we're up here, I'm gonna move my stop loss to here.
You now have
So I'm still always gonna be in profit, whether that's 500 or 1,000. Now this is just a running trade of me being in profit until I start seeing red candles, and then I'm like, okay, it's time to get out.
So what I will say, what she means by that, why she's moving it up, is because once you have determined that it's going to keep going up or down, whichever way, you now have a risk-free trade. So no matter what happens, if you've already moved your stop loss up,
Right.
even if it goes out, you've already won money. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter
Gotcha.
either way. And another thing I will say that she touched on, sorry, y'all gotta sit down because I broke a link. I broke a toe. When she said that it broke the level, one of the things that I look for, or Nikki too, is break and it closed. So when the candle was done, as you see, when a candle was over, you see the body is up above the level, right? Once it breaks above the level and closes there, that's a good indication that, okay, with the morning star,
Yeah.
morning star at the level, broke and closed above it, that's an entry to get in. And as you see it, shut up.
Good call out, Ty, because if you look right here, if we would have looked, oh, it didn't break the level, the wick did, but the body never closed. So if you got in thinking that this is gonna go up, that wick is the indication that it wasn't ready to break it yet. That's why the little sticks are important as well. These little sticks tell you that I may be close, but I'm not there yet. I may need to go ahead and breathe and get down to support and get some more oomph to accelerate me up. And you see, it breathed. It had a breath, and then it got what it needed to the body put down. Oh no, we ready to shoot you up. So this was the mistake that I would do. Sometimes I'm like, God, I know it's gonna go up. She's like, Nikki, let it close and break the line. Don't get so excited just because you see these long candles. It might not be ready. And I'd be like, oh no, Kai, you see these big green ones? I'm gonna go ahead and just jump in so I can get a lot of move and a lot of money. She's like, Nikki, let it close. And then I'd be in here thinking, because that's what you push up here. During that 5-minute candle, it pushed up here. So I'm thinking, I'm in the green now. And then I'm like, wait a minute, guys. And then I'm lost.
That's how she sounds too. That's what I'm laughing so hard. She's like, oh, Kai.
I'm like, oh, Kai, I'm up 500. Oh, Kai, I'm down 15. So that's what we mean by let it break and close. Don't let the wigs tell you, because that's how they get people. The market is also trying to trap people. They know there's a lot of impulsive people like me that's gonna be like, let me get in, get as much money, greedy, instead of waiting for your evidence. I mean, that's why when I say respect your rules, these are the things between being a profitable trader. Not this is a perfect example, because you can see these greens and thinking, oh, with money right here.
2026. I'm about to replay it.
Oh, this right here.
Here.
I mean, yeah. That's right there. All right. So. Lift it up a little bit. Yeah. All right. So you riding. We making stairs, y'all. We making stairs up. Up. Oh, and it's gonna be up and away. Looking at that, that's what you would think, right? I'd be like, I'm good. So when the next candles are coming, all right. Oh yeah. And I'll be like, you see this guy? Oh, I'm about to get in. We're great. Oh, I'm in at this point. The old Nikki, let me say. The old Nikki is in at this point. Do the other one. The other. Yes. So this is what I mean. I would no, we'll read stuff right here. Yep. And then I would have my break of my stop loss up because you know I'm not that much. Yep, I'll put it at the end of that candle and take it up to the 2-to-1. So this is how when you get to put in trades, this is how it looks. So this is my stop loss because I usually do with futures is different, but that's the beauty of Forex. You can have a bigger stop loss. So for Forex, you can make this your stop loss and that'd be only 500. For me, I can't dictate what that amount is because the government with futures regulates how much each point is worth. But in Forex, I can say, I want this to be worth $500. Like I usually say 750. When I'm doing Forex, 750 is my number. I don't know. And Kai's like, I'm good with 350. But we can dictate, but we have the same amount. Like we both have our stop loss here, we both have our take profit there. Where mine, I put in, I want to risk 750. She's risking 350. So if this is a 2-to-1? Yeah. So for the 2-to-1, I would be risking 750 to gain 1500. And Kai would be risking 350 to gain 700. So I got in prematurely. I didn't wait for it to break and close. And then it embarrasses me. I did. Oh, look at there. Oh, I'm out. It took me out. I lost my 750. Because I didn't wait for it to break and close. And then it's like, I was coming. You just were impatient. I just came down to breathe and you didn't want to wait. And then. Oh, look at the beautiful morning star and the clothes. And it went beyond my 2-to-1.
Wait, yeah.
Went beyond my 2-to-1.
Yeah.
Play it out. How much higher did it go? Punch it up a little bit.
Lord have mercy.
Why not?
Okay.
But that
And so for me, let me tell you one of my rules that tells me to stop, to just take my profits and go. The maximum red candle drawback, I like them to be small and I don't do no more than 2. If I start seeing it goes down to 3 candles, I'm gonna go ahead and go out. But for me, for futures, because I feel like there's a chance it might be, retracing back further than I would like. So for me, my magic number is 2 candles. And if they're little like this, I'm still in. And then when I see that big one, I'm like, yes, let's keep pushing. Let's see how much higher it went. Look at that.
hey, Lord have mercy.
wow.
Out the screen.
So I still would have been in if this was me. Is it?
Wow.
Still moving. Okay.
How much more?
It would have been a what?
That's a 750 times 11.
That's 1 to 11. So 11. Somebody do math. 750 times 11.
750 because I risked 750. How much?
8,250.
Yeah, so that would have been an 8,000 trade for me.
What's
Wait.
time?
I was just saying ready to ask her, what's the time?
I can't see good. I can't see. 1 hour.
So she would have
Not bad for an hour.
For 8,000. You can even
Wait.
make that in a month for a month to buy a
So
salary.
this would have been
That's a whole day. Wait, what? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And then if you
so
say
you would have went to sleep and woke up with $8,000.
But
I can sleep on that.
also say something now they have a new feature in trading view what you can is a trailing stop. So you say I don't want to keep coming back and checking, what if it's pulling back? They have something where it's trailing stop, so it's automatically moving your stop loss up every 5 points that it's moving every 5 points. So if you don't want to watch it. You know, what if it takes 2 hours? You can put a trailing stop where it's moving with your profits. So once it goes below your 5, it's going to take you out. So, but you know, you have already secured profit.
I'm about to show an example for stop loss. So you remember this red box right here, it represents the stop loss, right?
Mhm.
So when Nikki was talking about, once I see the market is moving and I'm in profit, I move my stop loss up. So this red box, so what she's saying is she would slowly move it up till, and then all she's in is profit. It's now risk-free.
So that one would be if that means I'm walking away with 0. But if I wanted to secure a profit,
Mhm.
I would bring the green box up. Yeah, bring it up. Yeah, that's right. And then bring my stop loss up. Bring it all the way up to that green one. So that one, if I say I wanted to secure the profits, I bring it up. So that's where, like, just from here, it keeps moving, but I already secured that whole bottom half.
Mhm.
So whether that's 800 or 700, whatever that is, 1,000, I've already secured that. So the next is just profit on top of profit, just running profit,
Letting it ride.
just letting it ride. And I did that one day with Kai. I was in a trade and I forgot. And so I forgot. And I was just like, because I already put it in profit or something like that. So I was talking to Kai and she was like, I took this trade. And I said, I think I'm in one. And then I said, oh, Kai. I was like, oh, Kai, I'm up this trade. It was like 3,000 or something. And she was like, close it out, close it out. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to take that and run.
So yeah, right here, as you see, I'm going to delete this so we can take a look. But right here, the market was starting to lose its steam. It did its run and it's starting, it needs some time to breathe.
And seeing that M, yeah, I definitely would have been out because it's formed the M. Do you see the little M that is starting to form? So I was like, nah, that's, I don't like how that's looking. So I
Let's
was
look at
got
that. See what, if it completes it.
Yeah, question.
Uh-huh.
So how long did it take y'all to educate yourself in this before you went out?
This is year, it's 6.
Yeah. We became, I would say we became,
No, 6 years.
yeah.
6 years.
But it doesn't have to take that long.
It doesn't have to take that long. Why? Because when we started this, we both still have full-time job, but when we started this, I just had a newborn.
Mm.
So I was balancing taking care of my little girl because my husband works almost like a 3rd shift schedule and going to school. So it's almost like I'm a single mom, still managing my full-time job, but I saw the promise in this. So I was like, yes, I have a good full-time job, but I'm going to work for them until I retire at 65.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, this is a great job, but they have laid off so many people. And yes, I have bypassed it, but who knows when my number is up. So I was like, I saw this. So I was sleepless nights, staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning. But I was like, for some people who don't have that responsibility right now, because I had to stop and start so many times because life was just happening where I couldn't do it like full on. There's so many times both of us had to stop. We locked in and really got good when she was laid off. She was praying to God. She was like, God, I see the promise in this. And she didn't know it was going to come in the form of a layoff, but she got laid off. But that's when she locked in and she's like, Nikki, things are making sense now. And the thing is, we were brought into this by somebody who knew about it, but didn't really know about it. You know, so
we had
to start buying courses. We started doing our own research. So we have put money into finding the right people to teach us. So that's why I said this is beneficial to people like y'all, because we spent the thousands of dollars in education and everything that y'all won't have to.
Courses,
you're going to continue.
Books,
yes.
Webinars,
mentorship,
classes. Thousands. I shudder to look at my bank statements to see how much we have spent on this.
Mhm.
To give context, me and her, that's how we met. We used to work together and I was part of one of those layoffs. But like she said, right before we were starting to lock into it, and I was like, I don't have time because I have a son and I also take care of my grandmother. So I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? I'm like, God, if you give me some time to do this, well, here you go, laid off. And so he gave me all the time I needed. And I was laid off for about 8 or 9 months until I'm at the current position that I'm at now. But during that time, me and Nikki, this was while she was still building her house. We were at the apartment up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, watching videos, sending each other texts saying, hey, I was at her house at least 3 or 4 times a week and every day. So yes, it's because we had a lot of things that were in the way, but that 8 to 9 month time frame, I'm just going to be honest, the only reason I went back to work was because the bills told me I had to. Because had it been that I didn't have to, and they were nice enough to give me a severance. If my severance hadn't have run out, I let it ride out as long as I possibly could. But with that being said, that it might not take that long. It just took us that long because we had to start and stop. We're just now getting our footing to the point that we're teaching other people, because we do not want you all to have to go through some of the things that we had to go through. The work itself, yes, you will have to do.
Yeah.
But as far as trying to learn from people that don't know it themselves, trying to pay we've paid thousands of dollars.
I'm telling you, I'm in the house of like 20,000. Honestly, and I'm just so lucky that Fabrice believed in it, because most people like, you're done, it's over, no more courses. But I was like, but honestly, what's the alternative? It's working for somebody all my life. And I was like, we see that people, we know that this is real. We see that people like in our mentorship are doing it. So he was just like, okay, this is the last time. And luckily when he said this was the last time, it wasn't really the last time, but it was kind of the but I was like, okay, we started to get it. It was when Kaylina started getting, my daughter started getting upwards in age where I didn't have to tend to her so much. And then I was like, okay, now she's getting ready for school. She got to go to sleep by 9. I don't have to wait till 3 o'clock to start looking at this material. That's when things started getting quicker. Like, girl, it's time to go to sleep. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. You got to go. And then that's when things started coming to me faster. But when I'm waking up, we both tired at 3 o'clock. There was no way I was going to be able to master this. But as soon as she got of age, yeah, eat your food. You know how to eat by yourself. And night. I'm trying to prepare our futures. And that's when things started coming quicker. And so we never thought, I was just telling her, we never thought. I was watching a trading video today. And I was like looking at this one guy. He was like, trading just paid for my trip to Switzerland. I'm about to do a withdrawal. He had the same account that I did. And I was like, Kai, he took out 7,000, and that was me last week when I took out 7,000. So I was like, we're here. Like, this is not a game. We're here. Was it long time coming for us? Yes, but was it worth it? I would not trade this journey for anything.
Not at all.
But everybody's situation looks different. If you're retired or if you're working or whatever, you don't have little kids, you may be able to get it quicker than we do. When she started, her son was maybe 6. So now he's 12, so now he's grown. Mine is a little bit grown, and I have my stepdaughter that just came from Africa. So I have extra hands to help. Now we've been able to make up for lost time, but everybody's life look different. And so that's what I was telling, especially our young people who don't have kids, who don't have a husband, take advantage.
Yes.
Take advantage. You have nothing else to do to lock in and do it. It is life-changing.
And I will say this, especially with my layoff taught me, because I was there at that job for 7 years. That's the longest I had worked at a place in my adult career. And when I got laid off, that showed me no job is ever guaranteed. No place that pays you is ever guaranteed. And during that time that I was laid off, and I was laid off for about 9 months, although I was having to work still, like doing DoorDash and things like that, the freedom that I felt of like, I don't have to ask anybody, can I be off to take my son to the doctor? Can I be off to go on a trip for his birthday? Is it okay if I'm sick? Is that okay with y'all that I got the flu? Is that all right? I don't have to ask that. And on top of that, with the way things are going, the stock market is not going anywhere until the Lord calls us all home, right? So it's no need in not understanding this, because every single thing that is happening with you purchasing groceries, you buying clothes, you buying things for your business, is all happening up here on the stock market.
Yeah.
So you might as well learn how to use this to your advantage, to give yourself that financial freedom, so you don't have to keep asking, is it okay if I'm sick? Is it okay if my such and such passed away and I take some time to myself? You don't want to have those restrictions. And that's what has kept us going. There's been plenty of times that I have called Nikki and cried because I had lost an account, my trades wasn't going right, something wasn't doing. We've both done it, but it is, like she said, I would not trade this for nothing, like at all.
And we're still learning, because we just learned as of recently from one of the people that we follow on trading. I was like, guys, so these accounts that I have bought initially and I failed them or I blew them, they're actually tax write-offs. So anytime that you buy a valuation, you actually can get that money back. So the thing is, you do have to register your business as an LLC. And so that is like going into your business by getting these prop firm accounts that will fund you the money. So you can get that money back. My subscription that we use to look at charts, you can get that money back. My office that I use to do my trading, we can get that money back. There's so many different things. I was like, I can get the money that I've spent on these evaluation accounts back. I was like, this is a game changer. So you look at it as your investment. I will say learn the skill. So that way, when you do these challenges where banks are going to be willing to give you money to trade for them, that you don't have to have multiple, prop firm challenge that you have to buy. If I tell you how many I have bought over the years of being impatient, not following rules, and I've blown them and had to do it a challenge again to get it, maybe 50. That might be lowballing it even. But that's because we didn't have the right direction of people to tell you. I didn't realize the importance of learning the skill.
Mhm.
And I know some people are like, I'm older. Is this good? There is a grandma that I watch on Instagram. She got to be 80s, late 80s. She is killing the game. I was like, grandma's doing better than me. And she's just making it look like nothing. She over there drinking her little tea, talking to her, stop it. I just secured 5,000. I was like, yes, granny. So it depends on you. Like, I don't think there's an age limit. It depends on how much do you believe in this? How bad do you want this to get your financial freedom?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, I was talking to my son. He has a food truck business, and he wants me to be a part of it
Mm-hmm.
because I cook home cooked food,
Mhm.
and so I don't mind doing that. But the money ain't coming in fast enough.
Yeah.
And so, what can we do to accumulate other money?
Mhm.
And I said, I want to make money while I'm sleeping.
There you
Yeah,
go.
this is it.
There
This
you
was
go.
it.
And so, thank the Lord God was here last Sunday to hear this.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because it was an open door for me.
Mhm.
Right.
And not only that, a lot of people don't look at things in the manner that I look at. But the younger crowd in this world, meaning believers,
Yeah.
Mhm.
are supposed to be taking your older people and bringing them by the hand because
Mhm.
we all can bring something to the table,
That part.
and so that we all win
That's
together.
right. That's right.
You know, so, but a lot of people don't think like that. You know,
Yes.
they only think about me buying and no more.
And that was
That was us, to be honest,
We were.
because we have both got burned by so many people. And like, in our community, different people will say different things about you. And I was like, and then people who have never even talked to me are all of a sudden going to want to come and be at my front door. And I'm like, I'm doing this to have more freedom of time. I know that life tomorrow is not promised. I have lost too many young loved ones that I know tomorrow is not promised. So I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing this to have time with my husband. I don't know if I have tomorrow, but I want to be able to live in the moment today. I have a great job. Technically, everybody's like, Nikki, that's a wonderful company. But I work for these people and my salary, yes, I get a raise every year, but there's only so much. I will never make as much as the CEO.
Mhm.
And if they need to do a cutoff, guess what? Since I'm moving up, we're the first ones to cut. The higher I'm moving up, the more of a threat I am. So now that I keep getting promotions, sometimes I'm like, who knows if they do a layoff, what's the easiest to cut the people that's making 3 figures or upwards towards the 3 figures. So I'm getting close to that list, so I'm like, the more I'm like, business not doing good.
Yeah.
That drug not selling. Oh gosh.
That's what happened with me.
I'm
How I
getting
ended up
nervous.
that's how I ended up getting laid off. Because one of the drugs at the company that was their bread and butter, like money maker, something happened and it tanked. And so when it was time to cut the numbers, they cut me. And so I had to figure it out.
And she was a good employee. Like, honestly, I had moved at the point where I was above her, but she was knowledgeable. But because she was a part of that section, she got cut off. And so I was telling Kai, I just found out recently, I had moved to the team. I had moved to the team where the drug was not doing good. They had me being like the quality trainer or whatever, program lead for that drug that wasn't doing good. They never changed me in the system. So they have something called cost centers. They never put me under the new drug cost center. So when they did the sweep, I was missed. But I was but I have different health things going on. I'm a diabetic. I've been a diabetic since a childhood, and I hold my family for my insurance. So God knew, and when I was the only one from that team that did not get swept, I just got on my knees. I was like, God, you know that I needed this so much.
Yeah.
The only one, I was the only one who did not get swept because something happened in the system that I never got moved over.
That's the Lord.
Out of those, it was like 500 people. Out of that 500, I was supposed to be one of them, but I was not. But I don't want to put my hands, my livelihood, my health, my family's livelihood in the hands of somebody else
Yes.
when I know I can do this.
And we also wanted to, like Nikki said, we were going to ride off into the sunset with our money, go to Bora Bora, St. Martin, have a grand old time. Well, hope y'all like it at work.
No, I told her, I had made a plan. I had it all worked out.
We
I don't
both
want people to know.
We
What I'm
both
gonna go is and put a deposit in my pastor, because I told her about you before she even met you.
Mhm.
Because I was like, Pastor Richard has been in my life, but I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and put a deposit in his mailbox. He's gonna walk into the money and he's gonna be able to change his life. And I was like, I'm just gonna secretly
Yes.
go and give to the people that have poured into me. But something had kept pulling to us, and then we see the way this economy is going. And then I was like, we can't look at the people that have done us wrong and put that on everybody. This can change some people's lives, and God is moving us to not be, we wanted to be faceless. Well, we'll put videos on YouTube, but we were going to be faceless. But something kept touching, like, Nikki, the more we keep talking about this, we can't remain faceless.
We were going to be faceless, and I wanted to stay that way because I just told my family this year that I'm trading. Nikki, her husband knew and her mom knew, but that was, and a few other people. Really, nobody knew. People was like, why are you going to Nikki's house? It's my friend. I can't go to her house to hang out with my friend. What's wrong with that? And wondering why I was staying up late, wondering why I was doing certain things. I just told them, a month ago? I just told them a month ago about me trading, because I needed to have. What happens is that people start badgering you. Where's the money? What's going on? When you going to teach me? When you going to? And I needed to have time. Now I'm okay. Like, I'm steady in what I have going on. But at the time I was like, I need to prepare myself. But now I'm okay with saying I can help, but this is how I can help you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, I had to do it that way. You was about to say something.
Well, Target, but I work a part-time job. And I don't want to work a part-time job.
That's right.
Right.
I don't want to work for me.
That's right.
There we go.
And
Right. Amen.
Yes.
And this is the perfect opportunity to do something like that. You can go to sleep, wake up, $3,000-4,000 in your account twice a week.
That said, it
Twice a week, 10 times a week.
It depends on you. That's what I'm saying. It depends on
Yeah.
your trading style. We trade every day. We do the fast paced one that I do it. I start work at 9:30, and my meetings don't really start until 10:30. But days that I have 9:30, that also why I'm not able to maximize my income is because I am working this full-time job. So, but on the days that I have 9:30, I'm like, hi, I couldn't trade today. Did you get a trade? Yeah, Nikki, I got one. So there's some days that people like, Nikki, I couldn't trade. I've been in back-to-back meetings. Like today, I've had back-to-back meetings. This week, we just launched a new software. I have not traded. And then last week with the war and things coming out, no, it was the week before, last week. With the
Market
war,
was
different
crazy.
things,
Market
the
was
market
so-
has been very volatile for futures. People who are in Forex are okay because you can determine your stop loss. With mine, because we have to have tighter ones because the government tells us how much each little candlestick or whatever tick is worth, ours has to be tighter. So I can't have a stop loss like this. That's going to be worth $5,000, $10,000. But for Forex, you can say this is only worth 500, and then you can set it and leave it. So that's the good thing. It depends on your lifestyle. If that's going to give you high blood pressure, like being able to watch candles in 5 minutes, the swinger trader lifestyle is going to fit you. You go and look at the market, you do your analysis on Saturday, you look at your levels, and you be like, oh, it's not quite there yet, but I think Monday you can set alarms where it will ding, 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 and let you know it's at a level, and you can go in on Monday and you let it ride. And if that trade comes out to 2,000 or 3,000 at the end of the week, depending on how much you are risking, it could be 8,000 like that one I just showed y'all the example of. It just depends what type of trader you are. I'm a little bit riskier. I get a little bit higher. I'm using other people's money. My maximum risk on any trade is no more than 1,000. But if you are a little riskier like me and you're okay with that 750, then that would have given you an $8,000 trade for 2 days that you had to do nothing. And just put it in and let it ride. So it depends on your trading style as well. I like things quick, working on that too. But I like to just look and see how it's moving and be done and know that I have that. So it just depends on your personality type and what fits with your lifestyle.
I think that's what the levels next. Because levels, that's not what makes sense if I talk about the levels. So then we could say. Does anybody have questions about our life story or anything else that we've gone over so far? We're good. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so let's talk about what a level means and what it doesn't mean. So we talked about support, we've talked about resistance, and that's basically what levels are. So a level is a spot where price has stopped, bounced, or changed direction. So when you see these places, yes, they are support and resistance, but they are also important levels. So think of it as, okay, so my support and my resistance, these are my levels. So this is a place where price reacted or where it broke through.
Mhm.
So those are levels. Oh, thanks. Good. Okay. So what levels are not? Levels are just a place where price touched. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to bounce. It doesn't mean it's going to break through. That's what confirmation is for. So you remember how when Nikki was talking about, I done got rid of it now. Oh no, here it is. Was this the place?
Yeah, but you moved the line.
I did.
You moved it up a little bit.
Move it up.
You put it down.
Okay, that's what I did. Okay. So like how Nikki was saying, just because it's at a level doesn't mean that it's time to go in. It's time for you to look. Doesn't mean that it's time to go in. The confirmation is it breaking above and closing above. That's a confirmation. It being at
Star.
Hmm.
And the evening.
and the evening star. That's a confirmation. Levels are not telling you where to go. Levels are telling you where to look. Oh. I might need to do a screenshot of this.
So remember, that's how you want to get an A+ setup. There's different grades of setups. You should always aim for an A+, setup. What makes it an A+ setup is you have multiple pieces of evidence. It's not just one piece of evidence. It got to my level. That's not enough. That's a D, F setup just because it came to your level. What makes it an A+ is it's at my level. I see one of these candlestick patterns confirming what I think is gonna do. If it's an uptrend. Already I gave you 4 different confirmations. It's following the trend. That's an uptrend. It's moving up. It's following the direction of the market. I see an evening star, a morning star at my level, which is a second, third piece of evidence. It's at my level. And then those are like 4 pieces of evidence already. And then we're gonna get into more pieces of evidence that we use, but I want you to learn the candlestick patterns first. But we have an added evidence, which is called moving averages, which are lines that cross and also tell you when the market is the direction that it could possibly be headed. But I think it's important to be able to look at the candle, just the chart with your bare eyes without too many additional stuff. Like we say, fake stuff. We like natural, right? You know, so the more natural you can have your chart and be able to recognize what is going, the better. Once you get used to that and then you add other stuff, those are just cherries on top. That's the whipped cream, but you already got the substance.
Right. Questions? Okay. So without confirmation, you're just hoping that a trade is going to go the way that it's supposed to go.
Gambling. That's what it is.
That's
Gambling. What it is. It's gambling.
It's gambling.
You don't have no evidence. You're guessing. You know, you have a 50% chance of being right and wrong, right? It's either going to go up or you're going to go out, but that's gambling. That's what gamblers do. They don't, how many gamblers you see at the table, like, unless those ones that have really perfected it, go based off of evidence. There's a 50-50 chance that it could go up or it could go down, but you're gambling and you're not going to remain profitable like that.
Because one of the 4 things that you need to know with confirmation is that not every level holds, not every bounce is strong, not every touch is a trade, and not every chart is going to be clear. So not every level holds. Now, granted, if you didn't know anything about confirmation, you would be seeing this and say, oh, it's at a level, and was a resistance in the past, so it's got to keep going down. No, it doesn't.
Hmm.
You see it broke above it. That's what your confirmation is for. Mm-hmm.
And Kai, take this off. Take the Joji off. Put the replay and take it off. Why it's important to follow your rules.
Hold on. Oh, still in replay mode.
So you just get the scissors and cut it. Select bar
I can't see.
right here at the bottom. Look at one for you. Hit on the select bar. You can take it off. Yep. Go to the doji. Go to the doji. Now take them off. Yeah. All right. So that's what we said. If guys, crunch it a little bit. So if we were just looking at levels, we looked at the past. It was a resistance. The market went down, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't focus on evidence and not just if you were just focusing on levels, if you see this, wouldn't you think to go down?
Yeah.
Because number one, it's an engulfing, right?
Mhm.
It's an engulfing. The red one is eating the green one. So some people would have been like, I'm gonna get in. But there's one thing that you're not paying attention to: the trend. The trend is an uptrend.
Mhm.
So that's why you should follow the trend, because some candles will deceive you.
Mhm.
Because that is an engulfing at that level. Is that a level? You see engulfing? Oh, it was a resistance in the past, but the overall trend is an uptrend.
Upward trend.
So remember what I said. If it's an uptrend, do not go against the trend, because that is a trap. If you see that it is moving up, you should only be focusing on up buys.
Mhm.
There's no reason why evidence like the devil can be a deceiver, make things look good. Like, it's something it did it before. So just go ahead and get in. They're trying to trap you. That's how these banks are able to keep giving people money, the people that keep losing. So just because you see that evidence, it's switching trends. So you just because it's at a level and it's did that, but you got to wait. You got to wait, because we should be looking for an uptrend, because we know that it's switching directions, because it was unable to make lower lows. Remember, we said for a downtrend, it needs to be stepping down. With an up, if it's not breaking it, that's your sign that it's switching directions.
I do want to ask a question. Does anybody remember what this movement right here is when it's going sideways? Does anybody?
Consolidation.
Yes, consolidation. This is not a good time to trade. That's another reason why confirmation is important and it's key. The market will either always be going up, it'll always be going down, or it'll be consolidated. Consolidation, when something is coming out of consolidation, you need confirmation to know which way it's going after that.
Mhm.
So that's what Nikki was just talking about. You see all this right here? A lot of people lost a lot of money right here.
Mhm.
If they did not do levels and they did not mark up their levels and wait for confirmation. So you see all this choppiness, people thinking, oh, it's gonna go up, oh, it's gonna go down, and they've lost.
Assumptions. And I'm a breakout trader, so I love seeing consolidated markets. I personally love seeing consolidated markets, because when the breakout happens, it's strong.
Very
and
strong.
It's gonna usually run like the way that it did.
Okay.
So consolidated markets, I love. It's the point of you have to be patient. You don't want to trade the in between. Wait for the evidence for it to come to a level. See what evidence you have. What you have, evening star. That's already one side. We have, a morning star. We have a morning star, and then the break happened, and then you can get into something called retest. Bye. You go on to what time frame is this?
1 hour.
Go on to 15. Let's see what it is.
What was that, 10 or 15?
See, this is 10. Yeah. But this is also, we can also use this, right?
No, I'm sorry. I don't
Okay.
think 15.
So what some people even do, who are not candle patterns lookers, there's something called a break and retest. So some people are just break and retest traders. But I like the more evidence, the higher probability of your trade. So, but some people who are break and retest traders, some of them don't just go in on the break. They're not looking for the evening star. They're not looking for all of that. They look for the break, but they look for a retest. So a red candle to come back to the level, which is this red candle, and then engulfing, or a green candle to follow. Because if you see that red candle come back to the level, and then a green candle that shows that the buyers were in control.
Mhm.
So some people who don't like to do all of this, they look for break and retest. They won't get in until it goes up, comes back down, and then goes back up.
Mhm.
Does anybody remember what this is when the line was one thing and then it's something else? Does anybody remember from last class?
Which, wait, the line.
This line right here, it was something and then it turned into something else.
It was a resistance.
Resistance.
Yes. This was a resistance and then it broke. And like she said, that was what then made it a support. Once it came back and retested it and said, okay, this is now helping me bounce up.
Mhm.
You see the significance of these lines?
Yeah.
These lines help dictate everything. So some people who don't care about this, they will not get in until they see it break and then come back and test that same level and see that it did not have the power to go below it. If it had the power to go below it and break into it, a lot, you should not take it. That is true. But so some people are like, I don't have time to worry about this, but I'm gonna wait. I can see if it goes up, it comes back. And some people are okay. If it just happens to take off and it never retake, takes off, that's a part of their rules. It did not retest. My rule is that it's a retest. I don't necessarily do that, but I think that's a good rule for Forex because I'm a fast trader. So on those fast trades, 5 minutes, when it's gone, especially a lot of times at the opening of market, which we trade at 9:30, that volatility, what is it? Volatility is so strong, it never has a chance to come back and retest. So if you're a scalper like us, that retest is not a good method. But for you guys who are going to start off Forex, if you don't have time to get all this, and you have to just respect that your rule is if it does not retest, and even if it shoots up, I just missed that trade. But if that's one of your rules, you just gotta respect it.
I will also say this. Does anybody remember what it's called when you look at multiple time frames? There's a name for it. When you're looking at more than one time frame, when you look at the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 1 hour. Does anybody remember what that was called? I don't. It's called a top-down analysis.
Top-down analysis.
Top-down analysis.
I knew that.
I knew you knew it. I just wanted to test you.
I did not.
A top-down analysis is when you look at more than one time frame. That's also extra confirmation.
Mhm.
It's not extra, it's a necessity.
Yes.
I would never, and I trade the 5 minute, but I still do not get into a trade without looking what's happening on the 1 hour. Like I was giving the example before, Miss Selma, right? Is that what you said? Miss Selma. So I gave the example before. I have a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. Lord have mercy. She's 6. But the lower time frames are like little children. The higher time frame, because as you can see, if those are the time frames up there. We have 1 hour, 4 hour, the daily, the monthly. The higher the time frame, that's the elders of the church. So you're gonna respect them more than you're gonna respect the 5 minute time frame, like my daughter, because she could be running this direction and she changed mid. So that's the example that I give for the 5 minute. The 5 minute is very noisy, but if you want to get a clear view of what direction the market is actually going in, because on a 5 minute you might see a lot of this and you might not be able to tell the direction of the market.
Mhm.
But if you go to the older time frame, the 4 hour to 1 hour, it's clearer. It's in an uptrend. So I would never, even though I'm a scalper, not go in without looking at the higher time frame. You're setting yourself up for failure.
So perfect example. This is the 5 minute. Is this the 5 minute right here? Is this the same one?
I think that's a 1. Is that 1? Can't tell.
I can't tell either. No, this is 5.
That's 5.
That's 5. And this is 1 hour. So you see all this noise right here on the 5. This is the 5 minute. That's very noisy.
You see all those wicks? Those
Yeah.
wicks gonna take you out the game. Those wicks, because you may have your stop loss right below it. Those wicks like to come and be like, got you out,
Yeah.
out the game. So
This is the same time frame at the exact same time. Oh no, it's not. I lied.
click on that screen. Click on the other one. And then, no, get out of that. Yeah. And then go to the time frame at the top. Click on 5. Click the 5. I have it up there as a favorite. You can put it at the top.
Yeah, it's on 5.
Okay.
This is 5. Yes. So this was what the time frame was. This is the same exact pair doing the same thing, but you see all the noise that's on the 5 minute, that's not on the 1 hour.
Mhm.
That is why it's imperative that you look at your higher time frames before you go into your trade.
Yeah.
Because looking at this alone, it gets messy and you won't know what direction you're going.
Do you see these lines up here? I tend to keep my charts very bare, but this is my added confluence right here. These lines are called moving averages. So if you see a red on top of the blue, that typically lets you know that it's in a downtrend.
Mm.
Once you see the blue crosses the red, it's letting you know that a change is about to happen, that it wants to go into an uptrend. So that is the added confluence. So if I'm looking for a buy and I see that it crossed, that's the added evidence for me. So that's just the added cherry on the top. So usually if the red is over the blue, it's downtrending. And if the blue is on top of the red and right at the cross indicates that the change is probably going to happen in the next few upcoming candles. So if you go down here, Kai, look at here, right here. I love these type of trades to get in. If it's at a level, you move, Kai.
Whoopsie. There we go.
Push it down a little bit.
Or up.
No, like scrunch it, scrunch
Oh,
it.
scratch.
Yeah. So for me, this is a 5 minute, so y'all wouldn't be doing, but this is just how I trade. On the 5 minute, I'm gonna have a line right here because there's 3 mountains. So that would have been a resistance level as well. And then look, that's already a good sign for me because it's creating a triple M, not just the M, but it's 3 mountaintops. So this is a good sign. I love those kind of pieces of evidence that it's gonna go down. So it got here, look at my level, an engulfing bearish candle, 8 degrees, another piece of evidence. I have the 3 mountains, it's at a level, it's a engulfing red, and then number 2, red crossed over the blue. I love those type of trades. I'm going, I love it. And a lot of I write it all the way down. Even if I see this, I write it all the way down to my next level.
Okay.
And then as long as the candlesticks stay under this blue one and the red is still on top, that means it's still a selling market.
Mhm.
So I don't get out prematurely. Even when I see that it's breathing up, I can still stay in it because I see it's still under the blue level. Once it starts, like that's one of my rules that if it surpasses the blue, it's probably wanting to change direction. I need to go out. But as long as it is still hitting it and rejecting, hitting it and rejecting. And this one, I might have gotten out already. Right here, when I'm seeing, even though that was a week, I might have, but this one closed, I would have got out. But that's still right there is money. Even just right here. But my goal would have been right here. But the evidence of the candles is telling me it's making me not feel, so I'd rather just take my winnings and go.
Okay.
Even though it did go to my final destination, I have to respect my rules. If it starts getting on the blue, I just get out and take my winnings. But just from here to here, for me, for futures, if I got out, let's say right here, that would take me from right here to right here. That's like $7,000.
I'll also give another trade. Let's say you missed this. Let's say you didn't see it, right? There's another opportunity somewhere. Can anybody?
Line. That is a resistance. Even if you missed the move that I did.
Mhm.
Let's say you saw it hit it, and then you got the candlestick pattern here,
Oh yeah,
and it's
because of indecision.
it kept going right on down.
That would have been money right there too. A
Mhm.
lot, even though that looks like a little move, in futures, that's a big move. That could be like 7 to 8 to 9, depending on how much you risk. $1,000. Those people that have their account have grown their account to like
millions.
500,000. They risk 20K for a trade, and for something like that, will pay them 80K.
Mhm.
The more confirmation you have, once you get more experience in advance, the more capital you've gained due to risk management. We'll go over that in another session. The more you can risk, so you can gain more when you have A+ setups.
Mhm.
Because that's another thing. When, like she said, when you have A+ setups, you can feel more confident about how much you're risking.
Yeah.
Because you know at that point, okay, if I didn't win this one, the market 97% of the time when we have A+ setups, news happened or just the market just did what it wanted to do. But for the most part, those A+ setups, having your confirmations and having the capital to risk that much, you can risk more to gain more.
and you can do it with other people's money. And that's what we said.
Mm.
Because if we were using our own accounts, we would only be risking $1 to 20 cents a trade. Like a move.
Right.
But once you get to the point where you are good, that's what we're saying. Other people like, I'm gonna give you a test account. Show me that you can take this 50K. We do 50K, but there's 100K accounts, there's 200K's account, there's 500K accounts, but we do 50. And so those people gave us account. Here's the 50K account. You cannot take that 50K out of there. There's like, this is just a test account. Show me that you can make 10% profit, which is 5,000, and you cannot lose no more than 2,000 during the whole time at any point. So that is showing them I can handle my risk management. That, you know, even
It's
if
not
I'm
just luck.
losing, I'm making sure that I'm managing my risk where I will not go below that 2,000, and then I can get to that 5K. Once you pass that, and then they're like, okay, they gave us, we have multiple certificates. Now that I said, it's become like a joke for us to pass these challenges. I'm like, God, let's just add 3 more accounts. But they give your certificate. They say you are official trader. There's like, this is still a simulated account where we still are kind of testing you. You can take profits from this account, but we're still testing you before you go to a live account. So then on our simulated account, we get 90%, they get 10%. Once they give us the money, you cannot take that 50K, but any profit that I made, let's say if I made 1,000, I get 90% of that. I get 900 of it. They get 100 of it. When I make 5,000, they take their 500 and I get my 4,500. And so you're making profit off of that money. But if I was waiting to invest my own money, I would only be in profit $50, $70, which is going to take you a long time to scale.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you get good so that way you can use other people's money to make your own
To
money.
build capital.
And then you go into having the opportunity of copy trading. You're working off of one account, but you can have 5 accounts where that one account that you're trading, it goes to all 5.
So that $8,000 trade she would have took on 5 accounts.
Yeah.
That's what I told her. Every time I had a $10,000 trade, I had a $10,000 trade in 5 minutes. I didn't have all of my accounts at that time, but if I had 5 accounts and I made that 10,000, that would have been 50,000 in 10 minutes, 5 minutes that I would have made.
Wow.
And Kai she was jumping, she was screaming. Fabrice was throwing pots around. Like my husband was just going crazy. They're all jumping and singing. Nikki, imagine if you had 5 accounts, you would have made 50K in like 5 minutes.
You know, the crazy thing about this journey, along with the money, is that once you know that you know the skill,
Nobody can take it away.
that nobody can take it away.
Mhm.
I get excited. This is gonna sound crazy. I get excited when I lose a trade and I see why. Because I learn and I see what happened, especially if it's something that I back tested. Back testing is when you test your strategies. If it's something that I know and the market just did something crazy, I get excited. I'm like, yes, I lost. And then it's like, what? Like I lost and I know why. And I love that for me. But it's because you know why. Yeah, right. Yes, I know what I did. And it just gives you that feeling of like knowing that you know the skill. A lot of traders say whenever you go into it, don't go into it for the money. It is really hard to not do it for that reason. It's real hard. It wouldn't nobody be sitting here if this was something that you do for free, right? But it's one of those things. If you concentrate on learning the skill instead of concentrating on making the money, you will learn the skill faster. Because you're not concentrating on, Lord, if I don't learn this, how I'm gonna retire, how I'm gonna get money for my child.
That's when you made crazy mistakes.
And you start making mistakes.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was doing. I was depending on bills to pay bills with market money, and I lost. Don't do that until you are in a position where this is your sole source of income, or your main source of income, I'll say. I was like, it's fine, don't worry about it. I just spent $300 on Shein, $400 on Fashion Nova. I'll make some money on the market. That's not a problem. Lost it.
Because the market is still the market. You know, things can happen that your analysis could be right. But like I said, every time Trump talks, that's the worst time to be in a trade sometimes. It's because your analysis could be right, but depending on whether the news is good or bad and what direction you're in for the trade, it can impact the direction of your trade.
Yeah.
So the market is still the market. So don't count your hens before they're hatched.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Dang, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something about what you said.
So it's more fun for y'all than anything.
I'm not gonna say fun because
Yeah.
it can be stressful. You know, it
Yeah.
can be stressful at times, but it is reassuring. Let me say that because not every day is a winning day, but to know that I can come in and lose today and be able to make it back, you know, or make it tomorrow, or it's not something a one-time thing. I used to be excited, like I want to win the lottery. If I win the lottery, what is my probability of winning the lottery? But with this, I can
Yeah.
say with a high probability, even if it's just in the month, I'm gonna have at least 3 winning trades. So that's higher probability than going and playing the lottery.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is when you make as someone who doesn't have a lot of lump sums of money just coming in, except through, you know, learning how to do this, typically I'd be excited. Like when I got my severance, that was like, I forgot what it was at this point, but it was in the, like 19 or 20,000 tax return, something like that. But that's one time if things go well. Knowing that you can make $4, $5, $7, $10,000 and it's only Monday and you can do it again on Tuesday, you can do it again on Wednesday, you can do it again on Friday, and you might lose on Thursday, but knowing that you can make that amount of money, it's in for the week and on multiple days and it doesn't stop. I think that's the thing, like thinking like this isn't just one lump sum because I got into a car accident and I got a check or something's coming my way. Knowing that you can make that money on a consistent basis is what makes it reassuring to
And then
know that.
you also want to use this money that you're using for trading to invest in other things. Because the reality is we are all getting older. You know I look like I'm 25, but I'm not. You know, so the reality is it's going to come a point, but like right now, my eyes are changing different things, you know. So I want to take this money that I'm also getting for trading to do like real estate, you know, rental properties, where that was really where I don't have to do nothing. People just got to live and they're sending me money. So the thing is to take other people's money to still make something even more of your own. Because the reality is, if I don't feel good next week, I'm not going to get no money coming in because I'm not trading. So my goal is to stack my money, have rental properties where even if I have 5, that's great. If I have rental property income coming in. So that is my ultimate goal. I have always told Kai, my ultimate goal, trading is great and I will still always do it as long as I can. But the end goal is to have multiple rental properties where if I choose to not trade for the month, I still have 20,000 coming in just sitting there. So the end game should also be not just to be a good trader. That is great. But also, how can I also make this money make me more money without having to do nothing?
Any other questions before we talk more about levels?
For the taxes, how do you do the month you made for the trade to do the tax?
So there's a few different options with taxes. When you're making that much money, they gonna take it. They gonna tax you.
Yes. But you do need to have not even an LLC. You need to, we've had to get financial advisors to even tell us you need an S corp. So you will have to have an S corp because in an LLC, if you're making anything over 40,000, which at this point, we're there, we need an S corp. And so that's when you can have all of the write-offs. Like I trade from my office in my room, they can write off that portion of my house, my electricity bill. These prop firms, these challenges that we are buying to pass, you can write those off. Win or lose, you can write that off. The trading view, the place where we look at that charts, I pay a monthly subscription of $29. You can write that off. So there becomes where a lot of write-offs, because the rule of thumb for trading is you need to put 30% of whatever your winnings are in a separate account to pay for taxes. But when you have an S corp, you can reduce that amount by the write-offs that you have.
That's why a lot of traders
move to Dubai.
Move to Dubai because they don't have to pay any taxes, and
they have a half-time resident. There's a lot of people that live here, but they have like a business or something in Dubai because over there you don't pay taxes on your winnings.
And also a lot of people that are here.
Can we have a church building over there?
Right.
Right.
Goes.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people do mentorships as well. Yeah. A lot of people that learn how to trade, they end up going into the mentorship business. And at first we didn't understand why, but now that we're in it, we get it. Why? Because we want to teach, but it's also a tax write-off.
Tax write-off.
It's a tax write-off.
Our equipment, if we post things, anything, you could even post
gas to get back and forth.
Yes.
if we take a trip, if we're working on the trip, which if we can
Always work for you on a trip.
That's
Yes.
right.
always work.
That's one man, we saw him on Instagram. I follow him. I love him. He's like, I don't take vacations. I take business trips.
Mhm.
So he's like, and I take my families with me to the business trip. You know, so he's like, I don't take vacation. He said, I haven't taken a vacation in 10 years, but I did go to Dubai for a business trip last year. We went to Bora Bora for a business trip.
With my
Because-
wife.
Yes, exactly. Because
Your
they're
car,
oh,
your car, you can write that off.
you taking it, driving it to come here to the church, gas, all of it. Fabrice saves receipts. He was like, I don't care if you pay $5, give me that receipt. Like we save receipts for everything. Like these pencils, everything that the book, everything is can be a write-off
Mhm.
to cut down on your taxes. Because when you get to a certain amount, even when I saw mine, I was like, I used to get a tax return. Now I don't think I am, you know, but
Yeah.
that's why you have to have a business to cover yourself. Or if not, you need to be prepared to take 30% of your winnings and put it in an account. And then you are going to, if you get to the point where you're making a lot of money, they do not even recommend you doing your taxes once a year or at the end of the year. Quarterly.
Mhm.
Because of how much money you're making and how much you're bringing in. Think about if you having to do that, all of that in one time, as
Get
opposed
all
to
of your
breaking it up.
papers together.
It's a lot. That was a good question, though. That was one of the questions we had. And once you get into trading and you get more into making that kind of money, they do have accountants, especially for people that trade.
Okay.
Mhm.
They do have accountants for that.
Special.
That
They know
specialize
all of
in-
the write-off things. One guy was like, he's like, I haven't paid the government not 1 cent for my winnings. Because he's like, he had an accountant who was proactive, not reactive, and was already getting things. He said, I haven't paid nothing on mine because I have so many write-offs. He's like, they gave me money back. So
Mhm.
it's about having those things aligned so you can keep as much of your money as possible.
That's why a lot of people move out of the country though, too, like she said,
Puerto Rico, Dubai, a lot of traders, you see them live there.
because they don't have to pay taxes out there on their winnings. That was a good question.
Okay.
So let's talk about what to do at a level. So when we see price get at an important level, again, don't just look at it, look at the candles that are with it. So are the candles strong? Are they weak? Does price look confident or does it look unsure? Basically, what are the size of the candles? What are the size of the bodies? What are the size of the wicks? Look at your clues.
Mhm.
Take it back.
What is it? Oh, this is Euro USD.
Uh-huh.
So these are some of the ones we don't trade Euro USD because, like I said, we're futures. But these are some of the pairs that you guys as forex traders are going to be looking at. With trading, you can do stocks, you can do anything. But like I said, why you guys are going to be new and going into forex, these are some of the ones that I have even set up for my husband because I'm teaching him. So I chose a couple of pairs for him that are more stable. You can see the movements a little bit better. Euro USD, go to USD. When I trade forex, and I'm going back, like I said, I just want to do some long-term forex, just have it do with things on the side. Me and Kai have been talking about it, and my husband has been talking about it. He's like, sometimes you can't trade. Like, look, this week I've had the launch of we have a new drug, new software. I've not been able to trade. But if I was doing forex, I could put a trade at nighttime and just let it do what it's gonna do. And I still, even if it's not as much as me making my 3,000 a day, 2,000, 1,000, I still could have my 4,000. Even if I just put in one trade for the week, that's still great. 4,000 for the week is still great.
Yeah.
This is USD.
Oh no, you want me to go to USD?
Yeah, what is this? I like USD because it's just a little bit more. I don't know, it's clear for me. USD JPY. Can you go back?
I want the 5 minute.
Oh, that's all. Yes, look at that. That looks so much better. And you just see the difference. From being on the 5 minute, it was noisy. You
Mhm.
couldn't see what was going on. But when you get to the higher time frame, you can see those lines a little bit clearer. You can see everything a little bit more detailed. So I think I was looking at this trade for Kevin. Is he here? Is Kevin here today? But I was looking at this trade for Kevin. Kevin was one of my insights. He was looking at USD JPY. And scroll over, Kai, move it to this way.
Which way?
scooted over this way so we can see this side. I think I was looking at right here. I was looking at this for Kevin. He was like, this hadn't happened, all of this hadn't happened, but he came here and then he was like, Nikki, what do you think it's gonna do? And I was like, well, let's look at it.
Hold on, you want me to go? You want me to replay it?
I mean, you can take it off, you know. Yeah.
Where?
No, no. So, yeah, take off that big camera. So, and we're gonna get into more things. There's so much more that you can do. So we were looking at this. I was like, he said, what do you think it's gonna do? And I said, what do you think it's gonna do? And then he was like, I think it's gonna go up because it's uptrending. And I was like, I agree with you. And then it was actually not even here yet, but it was like somewhere here. I said, I would wait for it to push down to this level because we looked at levels. When he was here, it was already up here. And remember what I said, we don't take trades that's in the air. We wait for it to move, come back down to our level or go past to another level. So I said, right here, right now, what's in the air, there's nothing for us to do. We already missed that run. So I was like, let's wait to see if it pulls back because he was wanting to get in here because he almost was gonna get fooled by that long candle. He was like, I said, don't get in there.
You know,
Remember,
I'll say something else. The reason why, you remember how I told you candlestick patterns are everywhere, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to.
Yeah.
Does anybody see that morning star right there?
Mm-hmm.
This is a morning star. Technically, it's a perfect morning star. But you remember how I said candlestick patterns are like words. They have to have context for it to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
It's up in the air. It's not at a level. It's not confirming anything. It's just, this is just a pattern. Every single candle on this chart is a pattern. I'm certain I could find a pattern for every single candle here. So just because you see this, if it's not at a level and it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean for certain that it's going to go up. Probably does, but you need to make sure. You need other confluences, other clues to let you know.
And I told him, I said, and the thing with the market, when you have a long leg like this, where it's all greens, it needs to breathe. So I would not get in after all those green candles because it has to breathe at some point. You can't just keep running and not stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point, it's already running. How many green candles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles. It needs to breathe at some point. So I said, Kevin, I would not get in there. Let it pull back to a level. I said, honestly, I think it's going to pull back to this previous support resistance level. And if it's going to continue to go up, it's going to go up from there. But I would not just take it in the air like this after we already had these green candles. I was like, remember, respect your levels. Let it breathe and come back to a level. And so he was like, okay, yeah, I got it. So he was like, so if it comes back to this level, I said, yes. And then look for evidence. Not just to pull back to that evidence, because it could come back to that level and drop down. So then I said, when it comes to that, look for the evidence that it wants to go up. But like right now, it is uptrending. And so there's a high level too that it will, especially if we see wicks at the bottom and if we play. Look at these wicks. You see this? I love these type of candles too, because it shows me there was not power to move it down.
It wanted to.
It wanted to, and the people tried it, but it couldn't. So you see that wick is longer than
the buy.
They tried to push it down, but the buyers pushed it up because, you know, a red candle wants to, go down. And a green candle wants to push up. So they tried to push it down, but that up buying power
was so strong.
It up where this little stick was bigger than the body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I would have gotten in on this one.
Yeah.
So it's just, I like the wicks, but I love engulfings the most. So I still I don't like seeing too many wicks. I needed to eventually make a decision. You know, even though I saw that rejection, I still like to see the green come in because then it's like, okay, the buyers are really in power. So then I would have got in. I would have got in here. It engulfed this, all of these wicks to the down. It could not even get close to this level. And then that engulfing, sometimes patient pays. Patient pays to wait. And I was like, I'll still want to see that power green candle come in to show that the buyers are really in control. So I would have got in here and I probably would have put my stop loss right here. And I always do at the very least, a 2-to-1. So if I'm risking 750, I'm at least getting 1,500 back.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're saying 750, but you're not putting anything up front. That's just if the trade doesn't go in your way. I know that I'm out 750. So it depends how much you want to say that if it doesn't go my way, take me out at 750. Some people are conservative. Take me out at 250. Take me out at 300 because I'm at the point where I know what I'm doing. I get a little bit higher. So I like 750. That's just my go-to number. It's less than 1,000, but you know, I just feel like that's a good range for me.
Where was that from? I just put it somewhere.
Yeah, please go ahead. Just, put it on. Is it 21?
Yeah.
I would do it a little bit higher personally, but that red line. Oh, I'm ready. Only one. And the difference for you guys, I said on mine on futures, only like 2 candles because I'm on the higher time frame. But for you guys that's doing the 1 hour time frame, you need to know that's a big amount of time. So you're gonna get red candles. But on my trades are short. They're only like 5 and 10 and 15 minutes. So too many red candles for me is deadly.
Right.
But on this, you need to give your trade a chance to breathe. It cannot just go all the way straight, especially on that higher time frame. So it has to, the market moves like stairs. So it's normal to see that. So if you see it, you can get scared. And a lot of times when I was doing forex, that's why I lost money. I would see it brief. Oh Lord, let me just get out. No, it cannot just go straight. So especially on the higher time frames, you're gonna see a lot of that. But trust your analysis, and you just have to know that if I lose it, I'm willing to lose 350. I'm willing to lose 7. Risk management is important. But the payoff, if you let it do what it's going to do and trust your analysis, it went up higher than that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What I will say about the candles, how she was saying that the wick and the body, looking at those things, the candles are also telling you the story. They're also giving you clues. Like she said, whenever you see a candle where the body is big and strong, like it was right here, that's a good sign.
Mhm.
Depending on what you're looking at and what it's trying to tell you, whether it's red or green. When you see a lot of wicks, that can also be a good sign depending on where it's at. You see this wick, these wicks are telling you, we're trying to go down here, but we can't.
Mhm.
We can't make it. So don't think that wicks are always bad. It doesn't necessarily mean indecision. It can also mean that there's power.
So that green over there
Which
to
one?
the left, go left, keep going, 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 keep going. That green is trying to go up, but there is a resistance too, right?
Yes. There was something that was there that pushed it.
Okay.
Because anywhere that you see, it can't just keep going. There's something there. There's money makers there trying to manipulate the market or do something.
Mm-hmm.
So there, yes, that is also one.
And is it
Because that's significant. That red candle too is kind of big. So there was a power there.
Yes.
But the buyers still, and so it went down. As you can see, it went down a little bit, but the power still, the buyers were still in power. But they were able to manipulate the market a little bit where the power was still with the buyers. So they still.
And Fifi, you remember how I said I like to do boxes?
mhm,
This would be a good place for boxes.
And that's a great area. That's the area that you caught it. That line wasn't there until Pastor Rashad said something, right?
Okay.
That is a great, yes.
Mhm.
You see how the box catches everything?
yeah. Mhm.
I'm a box girly.
She's a box person. She likes drawing boxes. I just use solely lines. That's why you see this is my account. I only have lines. This trading account is actually the one that I trade off of, and I only have lines.
So to give context, whenever Fifi, you remember in the last class, she was like that. She likes her lines to be clean and catch it all. Sometimes the lines are not going to be perfect and it's not going to catch every wick, everybody is not going to, sometimes it's going to look messy. So what I do is I will draw a box that'll catch all of this price action so I can see what's going on. And it's not just the support and the resistance. It's all of this right here. So that's why I put that box there.
Even look at this one. This one, USD. This is why I love USD JPY trading, because they give you they like levels. Because even look at this level what Pastor Rashad said, we didn't have a line there, but it is a great resist. You see here is the resistance, but it changed it to the support.
There's support. Yeah.
Support.
Yeah.
I would have got in again here
Mhm.
because it was an engulfing candle. USD, JPY, especially for beginners, is a great thing to trade because of the stability. And it likes to respect market levels, and it gives you a lot of times what you need at the levels to have the confidence to go in. Because that level that you had, perfect, Pastor Rashad, because and you could have went in for a second trade right there.
How much time frame you have to make a decision? Few
But
seconds?
it was an hour. So that's what I'm saying. On Forex, those candles are an hour. So you have a time.
Mhm.
The next candle, this next candle, if you saw this next candle is not going to come up for an hour. So you have time to get in, like, oh, to do your analysis. That's the good thing about Forex. You don't have to have stress because you're trading the higher time frames. You have the time to do the talking. With us, we only got 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You know, we look at
Make a decision.
before the market opens and we have to make a quick decision. But with Forex, you have time to look at the higher time frame, get all your evidence, because each one of these candles is for an hour. And so if you saw this right here, kind of take it off. Like Pastor Rashad identified this perfect level. That was such a good level that you identified. So if you take it off, up to here, the red candle. No, you let the green stay. This one? Yeah, take that off. So if you got your ding, Pastor Rashad, that it's at my level, you come and look. Oh, you have a whole hour to make a decision what you want before the next candle come out. So you got the time to put your trade, set your stop loss, and walk away. If that's what you choose to do. If you choose your ratio to be 1 to 2, you have a whole hour to look at the higher time frames, get all your evidence, so you're not rushed. That's the good thing about Forex for people that don't want that fast-paced thing. You have the time to look at it. That's engulfing. It's an uptrend. It's at my level. Look at this wick right here. There's so many pieces of evidence right here. Even look at this long wick. Then it's engulfing. Then it's at your level. I love these type of trades because I'm always I feel 90
Because you have a lot of confirmations.
unless news come out, a bomb falls somewhere, and then that's out of your control. Your analysis was correct, but news just manipulated the market.
Okay.
That was a good level.
That was a very good level.
Was.
Look at this smart man. Look at this. Yeah, I believe you when you be saying you smart. It's true.
So to give context, we all know what bullish is. That's why this is green dot right here. Bullish means it's price. There's signs that price is going to go up. You can see a bullish candle. You can see a bullish pattern. You can see a bullish move. Anything that is giving indication that the market is going to go up. So higher highs, higher lows. Let me go to the market again. So everybody sees these higher lows. This is a low.
Up should make stairs.
This is a low.
If it's going up, you should see the stair pattern. Because when you're going up the stairs get higher. It gets higher. When you start going low, you know you're going downstairs. So if you're in an uptrend, you need to always be looking for those stairs going up. The moment you see one stair go below the upstairs, that's no longer an uptrend.
Yeah.
Because when we're going upstairs, we never see that. Another stair cannot be lower than the stair that you were just on.
Yeah.
It has to keep going up higher.
So as y'all see, the market is, like she said, the market has to have time to breathe. Like you're going up steps. It took its time to breathe, and then it went up. It took its time to breathe, but it's still higher than this time. So it's a higher low. And then it went up. It took its time to breathe, but it's higher than this one, and it's higher than this one. Still went up. Same thing for the highs. Went all the way up here, came down. Went all the way up here, but it's higher than this. So anything that you're seeing that is indicating that you're going up like stairs, that's bullish movement. Let's see, bearish, same thing. Bearish candles, bearish moves, bearish patterns, anything that is indicating that the market is going down. Let me see. So right here.
Condense it a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm marking off the highs. Now you see, again, these are highs. It went up, then it came back down. It went up, but it's lower than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Then it came back down. Went up, but it's lower than this one and it's lower than this one.
Mhm.
So we're going at a downward angle.
Mm-hmm.
That's bearish move.
And then right there, that third one, that's your sign that the direction may be changing because it's no longer breaking the
Right,
low
right.
low.
Yeah.
So then that's a no trade zone until you see that it decides you can confirm that it's actually going up.
Mm-hmm.
So right there where that third, no trade zone because it's not, we haven't broke that low previous low yet. So that's the waiting phase. And then when you see it start, this next high broke this high, this is the next high. We can be like, okay, now we're going into an uptrend.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Because now this high is higher than this high.
is this making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Hmm?
That's nice.
Oh, yeah. The story's not a bunch of stuff. Okay, so for bullish engulfing, that's what Nikki was talking about. So that is when the green candle is typically eating the candle beside it.
Big candle eats the little red candle. That indicates buying power. So we should not sell, but buying power. And there's one right there at the level where I just said.
Let's see.
Who you looking at? I'm talking about the one up. Right there, where you have that green arrow. Right, but down beside it.
Oh, I see. It's still bigger.
I love engulfing. I love engulfing, whether it's bearish or bullish. I love seeing that type of confirmation at a level for me.
So it's whenever you see anything of bullish engulfing, it's where the green candle is beside it, and there's a red one beside it, and it's eating the other one because it's bigger than that one. Same thing for bearish.
If bullish engulfing is a buying power, and then a bearing engulfing is a selling power.
That is correct.
Mm.
So if you see the red eating the green at a level, that means there's a selling power.
Mm-hmm.
So those are even more important when you're seeing these near ceilings. The same way the bullish engulfing was important near supports, bearish engulfing is important near ceilings, the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see this pattern at a resistance area, that can give you, that's an added confirmation if it's in a downtrend that it wants to probably continue down. Then once we add the crossing lines that I have, the EMAs,
Mm-hmm.
if the red is also on top, that's a third. All of these pieces of evidence is what's giving you clues that your analysis is correct.
Just trying to take out the final one.
That was a great drop right there.
Oh, well. This is technically, yes.
That's engulfing, and that's at a 4-hour zone. So it rejected, you see the wick at the top, the blue line is our 4-hour zone. So that wick showed that it tried, but the sellers pushed it down. So it could not break upon that zone. And then the red ate the green. So I would have definitely got in that trade and just let it ride down. And if you see how far it ended up going down, I spun it up. That run, and it was like straight red candles here. I think I traded that even. Those straight red candles. I'm in love when I see those, when no green comes and it's just straight. It may have been Trump talking, may have been news, but I'm like, it makes me feel
Keep
so
talking,
good.
keep talking.
That's right. And then I just kept taking my take profit down. Oh, let's keep running in the money. And then it was a risk-free trade because I reduced my stop loss to put me in profit. So then when it's running, I walk away because I know if I've secured 1,500, everything else, if it's cheaper, then I'll come. And I'm like, wonderful. Okay, we're at 5,000. This is great. You can walk away.
And the last thing we're going to talk about is a doji, what a doji candle is. So we've kind of already talked about it. A doji candle looks like a cross. That means that there's indecision. Nobody's winning. When you see that alongside of other candles, that's when you get the patterns. The evening star, meaning we were trying to go up. Nobody won. Everybody's trying to buy and sell, and nobody won. And then we ended up going down.
The sellers won.
The sellers won.
If you take the doji out, you see that that's engulfing too.
Same thing with this. Going down, buyers and sellers were arguing. The buyers won. And like she said, if you get rid of this, it's engulfing because the green is eating the red. So anytime you see a doji, it doesn't necessarily have to look exactly like a cross. It just means that you need to see a wick, a little bit of body, and more wick. There needs to be more wick on both ends than body.
It'd be like that. It'd be like this. Little wick at the top, long body.
It's still a doji.
Still a doji. If that
As long
body
as-
is still small, and sometimes you can't even tell what color it is,
Mhm.
that's still a doji.
So just to go over everything that we've kind of talked about, when you're looking at price action and your levels with along with confirmation, you're not just looking at the levels, because we taught you guys the levels, right? Support and resistance. Now you know some patterns, so you can partner that alongside of the levels.
Mhm.
Now price touch support. Now let me wait and see what's going to happen. Let me get some confirmation. Let me get some more clues. Waiting for more clues is what makes the difference between you going in prematurely into a trade and you losing money, and you waiting and being patient and seeing, okay, I now can read what's going on besides it just going down, because it can reverse at any moment or it just going up. And so what you're going to look for, you don't have to just look at the level. You have to look at the reaction, which is what the candles are doing. You're looking at how the candles are reacting to that level. And that is when you'll see the doji, the engulfing, the bearish, the bullish. You'll see all those things at the different levels. You can see a strong candle up, a weak candle. All of those things make a difference when they're at your levels, which is why it's important to mark off your levels and see what's happening at those certain levels. If you do not trade in thin air, what do I mean by that? Oopsie. If you're not seeing anything, if it's not at a level, but you see an evening star, do not do anything because you don't know. If it's not at a level or support or resistance, along with a candlestick of some sort to give you some type of confirmation or clue, that is what we call trading in thin air. Like I was showing you earlier, I don't know if I can even find
The
it.
Pastor Rashad example was a great one. That level that we identified, that was a
Yeah.
great example because it was a morning
The
star
morning
right
star.
there.
Right. I don't even know if I can find it now. But yes, if it's not at a level,
Yeah,
I don't know where it ran off.
yeah, right here.
Right there.
Where the
Where your boxes?
What? Okay. Yes, you're just trading in thin air and not making sure that it's at a level first and not confirming what you're seeing is going to have you losing.
that was at a level. But like I said, once you see multiple green candles, be weary. It can go up, but the fact that there was so many green candles, but not a red one in between it, it has to breathe.
Yes.
So there is a good chance, especially if there's news that it could, but that's a higher risk that I wouldn't say take, because that's 5 candles. That's a lot of candles without there being a red one in between it. So that's why you have to take everything in context. Like you see 5 or if you see 10, some people want to get in, and we have left trying to chase a trade. Never chase a trade. Let it come to you. Because if I see 10 candles, you think I at least got 5 more candles, I can just get in. No, at that 10th one, it starts dropping because we've done that when we were beginners. Let's get in, let's try to catch the run up. And then we go back there.
Fear of missing out will have you
They
missing
call
out.
it FOMO because a lot of people get it. FOMO, fear of missing out.
They see a whole bunch of green candles. They're like, oh, we have both said it. Oh, let's just get on the train while we can because we don't want to miss anything. And then next thing you know,
The market said, girl, the train been missed. You didn't miss the stop. It's already gone.
right.
You gone. We left you. So
So basically, The main point of this is to just look at more than one clue. More than one clue is better. A+ setups. Direction, is it going up or down? The level, is it at a support or a resistance? Handle clues, which is the ones that we were talking about, bearish, bullish, doji, all those three things, along with you looking at your time frames and seeing if they're all going in the same direction, that is how you get A+ setups.
And I'm gonna put this in our group chat.
Mhm.
Can I post it? These are some of the different type of bearish and bullish. These are the more prominent ones. Like I said, there are thousands, but I don't look for nothing else except these. These are the ones that I used to. I'm not about to stress myself out. The ones that I noticed when looking at the market that I saw a lot were these for me. And so I still want you to have it, because you may find one that they have, like one called 3 Little Soldiers. That one that is a candle pattern,
Yeah.
where it's like 3 red little box candles. You might find one that stands out more to you. But for me, my eyes automatically go to these.
Okay.
But I want to give you all the list, because all of our minds work differently. Like Kai said, I like Head and Shoulder. She has probably never ever traded a Head and Shoulder pattern. But when I said, can you see the head? She's like, not really. I guess. But so everybody's eyes sees things differently, you know? So it's just good to know, to have, but I'm still going to give you what I feel like has been the most simple and easiest ones for us to trade. I don't like overcomplicated things. That is what has caused me to fail. The more simplistic I have become, the more simple I have kept my charts. The only thing I like to add is my EMAs. I stay with my EMAs because they're golden too, which we will start looking at that more. But I just want to be able to read the chart. I don't want too much noise.
Mm-hmm.
So Miss Selma, I'm gonna give you this hard copy, because I'm gonna put it in our, so everybody else can, so you can just be able to look at the patterns yourself.
So like we always do at the end of every lesson, we talk about the faith reflection, because we always bring it back to the Lord. Amen. So one of the things, waiting is not weakness.
Mhm.
Sometimes wisdom looks like slowing down and not moving too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And in trading, just like in life, patience can protect you from rushing into the wrong thing. Same thing. All right, y'all. Level first, confirmation second, entry last. To do it in that order, stay calm and avoid rushing. And as always, there's a flow chart. They might not be able to see it, but I'm going to send out this PowerPoint slide deck. Did I send the other ones?
No, you
No.
didn't.
Whoopsie. So I'll be sending all 3 of these in the group chat.
I think we need to start finding you. If we find you.
You gonna find me? Go ahead. Because then I'm not gonna lose my money. I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and put that in there. Does anybody have any questions over anything we've gone over?
This was good.
This is good.
It's good.
Glad.
So
Because we had a lot of people like confuse us. It was a lot of noise, and you
Mhm.
get so many different people. And I'm like, just keep it simple with me.
Mhm.
You know, they try to, there's a gap right there. You do that, and then were you telling me, or was it Jonathan? You look at the signs of the ocean. What?
Yeah.
So there's so much confusion, and I just want to make it simple, especially for the people that I care about. Let's all excel together, but let's keep it simple. I don't have time for the confusion. I know. Let's just keep it simple for people to understand, and let's just grow together.
Mm. Can we take some photos?
That's what I do of this.
Yeah.
Oh,
This, that during the class.
yeah.
So for just the documentation.
And then, want me to end it?
Or
Oh, 'cause-
we can, after we pray. We started with prayer, we finished with prayer, and
All
then
right, that's what you do.
Excitement is contagious.
Because
Excited.
because we are excited.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, sometimes Kai gets more excited. That the week before last, I had a good week. That week I had like a 3,000 day. The next day was like a 4,000 day. And the next one, I was like, yeah, I made $6,000 in 3 days. She's like, why did you say that like it's normal? This would never be normal to me, Nikki. She's like, you say it like that's an everyday thing. And I'm just like, and I said, that's wild, because I said, I don't know how those people that we watched, yeah, I made 80K today. And I was like, they say that. But she was like, Nikki, these are milestones. Like, you are having multiple winning days back to back. And I was like, you're right, Kai. Thank you for helping me celebrate my wins.
Yes. What we're gonna go over next class is strategy. So basically, when you go in, how you go in, and looking at your levels. Basically we touched on it today, but we're going to go more in depth about what strategy looks like, how you can look at your setups and know exactly when to go in for a trade. Stop loss placement, take profit. The green and red box that we were showing y'all where to put it, that's what we're going to go into next week. Take profit and stop loss.
All right. Let's go.
You want to take your phone, take photos.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's end it with prayer. We started with prayer. We leave out with God. We start with God. We end with God. All right. Father God, we thank you for this time
Thank you.
that you have allowed us to be together in fellowship, Father, and to gain knowledge, Father. You allowed this situation to be. So, Father, we give you thanks. We give you thanks, Father, because you are faithful. You love us and you put us in the midst of others that are like us so that we may grow together, not only grow in the word, but grow in just life, Father. So we just thank you for everyone that you have allowed to be in this place and every word that they have contributed to this conversation, Father God. Father, as we are leaving, Father, we ask that you be in each and every one of our cars. Father, you be with us. You cover us as we will be going to sleep. You, Father, are the light, Father, in this world of darkness. And I just ask that you allow us to keep our eyes on you at all times. Father, we praise your name because you are the Alpha and Omega. We praise your name because you are the shepherd and we are your sheep.
Yes.
Thank you for your direction. Father, we thank you for your love. Father, we praise your name. We proclaim all of this in Jesus Christ's precious name. Amen.
Mhm.
Did we get a picture? Did we get a picture? Did we get a picture of this? I thought that's what you were taking pictures.
I took a picture.
He did?
Huh? Now, boy.